Welcome back to the survival challenge, and today we are going to be getting on to harvesting the oats and wheats that we have left, and before that we are going to get the straw bales from last time put in the shed. So let's roll the intro and get to work. Yeah, so the first job I want to do is get these bales put away, and then we're going to progress through to July to get the next fields ready to harvest, because we've not got a lot else to do. We really don't need this game on 2-day months, but I just don't see the point in changing it at this point. We'll just skip days when we need to. I'm just going to get these bales in this shed, and then I'm going to bring the skid steer over and tidy them up because it gets a bit messy. And skid steer does a really good job of doing this. This tractor is just a bit quicker to get between the field and the shed. But yeah, I don't do the best job with the tractor, and we've got the skid steer. So yeah. Just going to get the 2 fields harvested, 3 fields harvested in this episode, and we'll do the baling in the next one, and then that will just leave us with the sugarcane. Haven't decided whether I'm just going to skip time way ahead to when sugarcane is ready. It's a few months away. I think that's not ready until the autumn, or whether we'll do some harvesting contracts going through the springtime, through the summer. We'll see how it goes. I think we're going to be pretty busy, or will have been pretty busy, because it's going to come out after it releases when Precision Farming comes out, because that releases tomorrow when I'm recording this, and so this is going to come out later in that week probably. And so I've been busy doing saying a lot today, doing precision farming videos. We will have done a lot of precision farming videos by now. I am really looking forward to that releasing, and it's been frustrating waiting for it over the holiday weekend, and we've got the update which will have dropped as well, and we'll see what that does to everything. Need to remember to back up some of the things that I've changed before I update it so that the game doesn't unupdate them. So we've got 6 bales off of that little tiny oat field, and not that many oats either. It was such a small field, wasn't it? It felt big when I ploughed it in initially, and we have come a fairly long way since starting with our big old forest that we had on here. I have still not decided where I'm going to take this game to. There are so many maps coming out that, as I said, I'm just going to wait and see where we end up. It's going to be... We've got an episode to bale all the straw and probably progress through some of summer. Let's say 2 more episodes on here, I think, before we will be ready to go. I'm going to get the wool sold. The price is holding really well on that, so we've only got a few pallets, so we can put the flatbed on the Unimog and use that to take it over because it's fairly quick. The sheep are really producing wool at the moment. We've got space for 40 more lambs, and then we're going to have to start selling some off. So the income is going to start going up even more as we start to sell off some of the... What I might do is sell some of the older sheep or some of the older lambs. Not sure which yet. But that's going to start bringing us some income in. We've had that trailer sat there waiting for a very long time. Yeah, the wool production has really picked up. We've got 760 in there at the moment and space for another 40. Nothing seems to use water. The water goes down so darn slowly that I check it every time I load the game, and nothing needs water still. It's just what it is, I guess. And more than a single pallet of wool is too heavy for the skid steer, we have learnt. I don't know if there's a weight you can put on the back of the skid steer, but it would be good if it could lift a tiny bit more. I wouldn't have thought a pallet of wool was that heavy in the real world. Wool's pretty light, isn't it? I don't know, actually. I have no idea. Anyway, up at the sell point now. I do love this sell point on Oberon. It's really nice. 13,500 euros for that. It's quite tempting to buy the spinnery, actually, but at this point it's probably not worth it. Just going to get the sheep fed, not the sheep, the chickens fed. I'm going to give them all of the barley we have left because we have a fairly big wheat field to harvest. Not sure how much we're going to have left afterwards, so that was all of the barley that I planted to feed our chickens, and it's gone already. And I have progressed time forwards so that we can also harvest. We have 2 fields of oats, I think, and a field of wheat to do. So you get the sheep fed. I've got the pickup truck out because we need to put some fuel in the combine I don't think we've put fuel in the combine yet, so probably a good idea. It was a bit low last time we used it, and it could do with a little bit more before we get into harvesting. So do that. We don't really need to use the header trailer to get to that first field. It is just across this one, and that was why it was quite nice that we could harvest the small oat field first. No, the small barley field first, because that meant we opened up the farm so that we can just drive across that field now to get to the oats, which we planted for the horses. Oh, it's complicated, isn't it? It's very complicated. So we're going to take a couple of headlands off the top here, because this land gets a bit messy as soon as we get to the edge of the field. I think we'll take a couple of headlands off the top and then run down the long end, and yeah, this is going to take minutes to get through. So one of the other things that I've done with some of my footage is I am not speeding it up quite so much. Interested to see what people think of that. Hopefully it means that the time lapse isn't quite so rushed, but I'm trying to put the same amount of gameplay in, so the videos might be slightly longer. Just something I'm toying with in the last couple that I have edited, just because I think it makes it slightly easier to see what's going on without it turning into a hour-long video, which is just not practical either to edit, commentate on, or upload. The other thing, I seem to have fixed my issue with YouTube not processing my videos by changing from a MOV file to an MP4 file when I render. So if you do YouTube, try that. I got the settings off of a I can't remember who it was, but one of the bigger DaVinci Resolve YouTube channels, and they was using the settings they recommend, but YouTube just seems to not want to process 4K MOV files, so we've gone to MP4, and my videos are processing within a couple of hours, which is, you know, from days to a few hours is really useful for me. It really helps out, and we're pretty much done with this field already. That didn't take long at all, did it? Leaving all of the straw. We're going to harvest the 3 fields in this episode, and we'll do the straw next time. Right, let's empty the combine. Just over 5,000 litres of oats on that field. So that probably would feed the horses for the year, I think. They don't use very many oats. Although oats are a big part of their health, they don't actually use very many. I want to use the trailer to get across the other fields, because we've got to cross the main road and the rail crossing, and I don't think we'll get the header across that. Which means we need to take the corn header off the trailer. So we're going to drop off the grain header, pick up the corn header, drive that back over to the shed, put it in the shed, come back, pick up the other header, put it on the trailer, take it over to the other fields. Okay. I was just looking at the harvesting contracts that we have available. There are some. What I'm not sure about, because it's been a long time since I've done harvesting contracts, I have heard a few people grumble about it, is whether you get any excess these days, or whether it's worth it for the excess. So I might have to do one to do a test, and that might decide whether we do a bunch of them before we move on from here, get some grain stored up. So over here now, by the 2 fields that we brought in the spring, I think we brought them. So this is a fairly large field of oats. I can't remember what numbers they are. I'm not particularly familiar with the field numbers on here, because we haven't done massive amounts of exploring. We've done on the contracting, I guess. But anyway, we're going to put in my kind of standard U-shaped headland that I do. So we'll do 2 passes on this side of the field. We'll do a run down the field, a couple of passes the other end, and then get into the up-down rows. And again, this felt like a really big field when I brought it. Maybe it's because we've got a 7.5 meter header on this combine. They don't feel big now we're into harvesting. They do not feel big at all. That might also be the Calmston factor. The Calmston has huge fields, and although the fields that I'm using on there are quite small, we're around all the big fields on Calmston, and we have been doing, you know, like seeding contracts and stuff on there. So that might be it. Not sure. I need to check actually. I think I did some harvesting contracts on Calmston. We should check to see whether we've got anything to sell on that. I need to do a run by the carpentry on here, see how we're doing up there for using up the wood that we've delivered, and whether we've got any wood chips or not as well. I guess that would be useful to check. Yeah. Nice, calm, chilled out harvesting video. This John Deere harvester is quite nice. I think it's by Tired Iron modding. It's a little bit twitchy on the steering, but it was so cheap that it really let us get into harvesting contract last year, which got us the big reserve of soybeans that we had, which gave us a fairly massive cash injection, I think in the last episode, of about 60,000 euros, which is really useful. We do need to buy our sugarcane harvester still. That's going to be about 70 grand because I'm buying the pull behind, and there's always the chance we might need to get a tractor that's going to work with that. So we're going to sell the sugarcane harvester as soon as we've used it, because I think I'm only going to do one sugarcane harvest, as it was just kind of an experiment after playing with it on Courseplay when I did the video on Courseplay with it way back. It's been a long time getting around to harvesting this, so yeah, we'll probably need to spend some money on that, but I do feel pretty comfortable for wherever we move to that we're going to have a decent amount of cash. Not sure how much we're going to sell of what we have on here, but quite a lot of it probably we're going to have to pay to get anything that we want to take with us transported. You probably have to get a transport company in to do that with a maybe a low loader and a grain lorry, something like that. Because we're going to have a couple of vehicles to move. We're going to have animals to move and grain and bales to move, I think. So yeah, that actually might be a good video for doing the save setup thingy. We'll see. Probably, yeah. I'm hoping that we're going to get Calmsden pretty soon after, with precision farming out now and the update out. I'm hoping that Calmsden didn't need too much work done to it, and it's going to be off testing with giants fairly quickly. So that's that field done. That's all the oats done into the wheat, and I've stuck a worker on that. So we've got 17,500 litres of oats off of that field. Stuck a worker going on the combine to run a couple of headlands for us while we go empty. This silo seems to have some new collisions in it compared to last time, because I don't remember it being this twitchy. I caught a roof beam there, but actually when I'm clear of the roof beams, it also catches later on. So it feels like the Alien Gym has added another collision in there. But end up getting 3 headlands across this end of the field, and it has taken a fairly big chunk out of this field already. So watching Daggerman play on this map, these fields didn't look so small, but now they look quite small. And he's cut half of the end of this field off and put a forest in, but maybe he's extended through. Maybe he's joined 38 and 39 together. I don't remember. A long time ago that he did all that stuff on Obeleron or Ubaluba or whatever it is he calls it, because you know, Daggerman. So yeah, again, U-shaped headland stuck in here. I don't see the point in driving around the field. I don't think farmers actually do that when they do a headland. I think they do headlands and then the up-down rows. That's just from watching combines around where I live. I may be wrong. Again, I'm a scientist, not a farmer. Yeah. Last field to harvest with the combine, unless we get stuck into contracts. So something I did have problem with is the silo didn't seem to want to fill the back of the Unimog. So when I was doing the chicken feeding, I used the trailer because I couldn't get it to tip into the back of the Unimog. So I'm not filling the Unimog up this time, just in case something funny has happened. And so we're just using the trailer, whereas last time when I was harvesting, I had the 7,000 litre back on the Unimog plus the trailer, which gave us loads of capacity for grain, which was great for contracts when we were having to run around the map. Less of an issue when we're so close to the farm. You know, we can just stick a worker on and quickly run back to the silo and empty the trailer, and we're done. So that's not really a problem. Interested to see how much straw we're going to get off of here. I think we're going to sell a bunch of it. I think probably we will keep. We've got 6 bales off of the barley field. Maybe we'll keep what we get off the oat field as well, and then sell what we get off these 2 fields. That'll give us a little bit of a cash boost as well. We might keep the wheat and I might sell some of the oats. I don't think we need all of the oats for the horses, but we might keep the wheat. I don't know if we're going to do chickens when we move. If we're going to, we will keep the wheat to feed the chickens. Seems sensible. I think if I'm still tempted by the old stream farm, and I think there is a chicken coop in the yard on there, so we may end up doing some chickens. So we may take some of the wheat with us. Depends how much we've got to move. Maybe we could get the back of the Unimog full of oats and a trailer full of wheat. That might work. That might be a way of moving our grain crops. We'll then just have bales and animals to move, so we could, yeah, that might work actually. That might work. That is an option. Maybe get a lorry with a low loader. Put bales behind the pickup on that trailer. Yeah. Pretty much done harvesting this field now. Last row to go. I did use work a bit as I was driving around, emptying the Unimog and stuff. At the point where there's less of a concern about cash. Just a quick check of the deals in the store, see if there was anything that we needed. Not that we need much at the moment, apart from a sugarcane harvester, as I've said. Let's get this empty. You can see what the slightly twitchy steering on the combine. We then need to get everything back over to the farm and get this all put away. We will only need the combine again if I do decide to do some contracts. I think we got off of there about 17,000 litres of wheat, which is pretty nice. Thanks for watching, folks. Click the like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment, subscribe if you are, and I will catch you next time.